Trump's victory over PBS and NPR bias will be devastating for rural areas, station leaders say. The Senate unexpectedly voted to eliminate all federal funding for PBS, marking a significant blow to public television and radio. This move, championed by President Trump, will force stations across the country, especially those in smaller communities and rural areas, to make drastic cuts. The loss of federal support will severely impact their ability to provide free local programming and crucial emergency alerts. PBS CEO Paula Kerger warned of difficult decisions ahead, highlighting the devastating consequences for smaller stations heavily reliant on the federal subsidy. Larger stations, with diverse funding sources, are expected to be less affected, though still facing challenges. The decision comes despite bipartisan support for public media for decades, with critics often citing perceived political bias as justification for the cuts. While some Republicans voted against the funding elimination, citing the value of public media's services, the majority focused on accusations of partisan bias, arguing the system is obsolete in the digital age. This viewpoint is countered by public media officials who maintain their commitment to balanced reporting and the vital role they play in providing news and emergency alerts to millions of Americans. The immediate consequences are already visible, with some stations announcing staff layoffs and shifting towards alternative funding models. The long-term effects, however, remain uncertain due to the complex financial structures of public media outlets, but the drastic reduction in federal funding clearly threatens the survival of many stations and programs.
In our next story, everything we learned from a week with Apple CarPlay Ultra. Aston Martin's 2025 models feature a significantly upgraded user interface, highlighted by the integration of Apple CarPlay Ultra. This next-generation system goes beyond standard phone mirroring, taking control of climate control, drive modes, and even the digital instrument cluster. Currently, few automakers are utilizing this advanced system, with Kia, Hyundai, Genesis, and potentially Porsche following Aston Martin's lead. A week-long test drive of a DB12 Volante revealed both the strengths and weaknesses of CarPlay Ultra. The setup process, while involving more consent screens due to increased data sharing between the car and iPhone, is relatively straightforward. Apple assures users that this data is limited to multimedia information, vehicle status details, and similar functions, with no persistent storage on either the phone or the car after disconnection. Data sharing is restricted to multimedia information, vehicle status, speed, engine status, lights, and similar operational data. No personal information is persistently stored by either the car or the phone after disconnection. Siri functionality is available via a steering wheel button, providing a similar level of performance as expected from other Siri applications. Despite the added setup steps, the integration of CarPlay Ultra into the Aston Martin driving experience proves largely seamless and enhancing.
In our next story, this feels very scary. Tobias Halland Johannessen reveals extent of threats following Tadej Pogačar's Tour de France crash. Norwegian cyclist Tobias Halland Johannessen caused a crash involving Tour de France defending champion Tadej Pogačar during stage 11. Johannessen, while apologizing profusely, inadvertently cut off Pogačar, sending him to the ground. Despite the incident, Pogačar was able to rejoin the race with the help of fellow competitors. Johannessen has since expressed deep regret on social media, revealing he is terrified by the online abuse he's received following the accident. He emphasized that the incident was unintentional, stating he misjudged the movement of other riders. Pogačar himself has publicly downplayed the incident, urging fans to stop harassing Johannessen and calling it a racing incident. He and Johannessen's team director have both confirmed that there are no hard feelings. The incident highlights the intense pressure and scrutiny faced by athletes, even when unintentional mistakes occur during high-stakes competitions. Johannessen's experience underscores the negative impact of online hate and the need for responsible fan behavior.
In our next story, the Open 2025 leaderboard live updates, golf scores, Open Championship coverage, Round 1 at Royal Portrush. The 153rd Open Championship tees off this week at Royal Portrush in Northern Ireland, marking only the third time the tournament is held outside Scotland or England. This year's event features a star-studded field vying for the claret jug, battling not only each other but also the challenging links course and unpredictable weather. Rory McIlroy, the reigning Masters champion and a local favorite, returns to his home country seeking redemption after missing the cut in 2019. While Scotty Scheffler holds the favorites position according to Caesars Sportsbook, McIlroy's strong current form and immense popularity guarantee a fervent home crowd. The tournament will unfold over 4 rounds, beginning Thursday morning in the US and concluding in the mid-afternoon. Fans can follow live coverage for leaderboard updates, in-depth analysis, and highlight reels throughout the entire event. Comprehensive TV schedules and coverage guides are readily available to ensure you don't miss a moment of the action-packed championship weekend. In our next story, several Palestinians, priest wounded by IDF fire on Catholic church in Gaza City. The Hostages and Missing Families Forum is urging Israeli authorities to officially recognize families of hostages held in Gaza as crime victims. This request comes in response to the upcoming hearing for Yonatan Urik, a Netanyahu advisor accused of leaking classified information. The forum argues Urik's leak, known as the Bibi Leaks affair, directly endangered the hostages' lives. They believe the leak jeopardized their safety and potentially impacted the outcome of any potential rescue efforts. Families of the hostages fear the leak could have negatively influenced negotiations for their release. Therefore, they're demanding a full investigation into the affair's impact to prevent similar incidents from hindering future hostage negotiations. This request highlights the families' deep concern and their determination to seek justice and ensure the safety of future hostages.